amazing keynote speaker comes from Philippines. Give a applause to him. I'm excited to give you a presentation for today. So, the Honorable Ms. Risa Santoso as the Rector of Institut Asia Malang, and then Honorable Ibu Teresia as the Head of Master Program Department Institut Asia Malang. And then to my beloved students here who participate in this agenda for today. So I would like to say welcoming for our agenda for today. Today is there's a visiting professor from Philippines, and then allow me to introduce myself first. I'm Bu Lila as the moderator for our event for today. Actually, I asked for the moderator to the students, but unfortunately there is some mistake, so that's why I'm here. Jadi jangan bosan, even you know me, so just pretend that you do not know me. Okay, so before we start, let's read the agenda for today's event. The event will be divided into several sessions. The first, there will be opening remarks from Ms. Risa Santoso as the Rector of Institut Asia Malang. And then the next will be the main event for today, a guest lecture or visiting professor under the title Entrepreneurship in ASEAN. So I think it will be very important and will give you international insight about entrepreneurship in ASEAN. And then the third will be discussion session, including question and answer. So please feel free to ask anything to our keynote speaker to improve your knowledge about business, about entrepreneurship and management. And then the last session will be certificate awarding and documentation. So ladies and gentlemen, up next we will listen to the speech of our rector, Ms. Risa Santoso. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Rila. I want to say hi to the people watching online as well. So this class is a hybrid class. There's an online and the offline attendees. So Mr. Dennis. Ini teman-teman yang bahasa Inggrisnya yang sangat mengerti Brila ngomong apa boleh tepuk tangan? Lumayan. Yang tidak mengerti Brila ngomong apa?
Jangan tepuk tangan.
Oke, baiklah, tidak apa, kita mengasah bahasa Inggris ya. Jadi ini sambil mau mengenalkan kalau teman-teman ada yang mau join komunitas bahasa Inggris yang dari business function, yang dari teman-teman yang lain, silahkan. Mau memperkenalkan diri sedikit? Sedikit. Coba ngomong halo, nama, angkatan berapa, kontaknya di mana? In English.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let me introduce myself. I'm Maharani Nur Utami, and I'm 4th semester in management. And if you all want to join the C, I think you can open our Instagram in the C_Asia, and you can join the C. And we have meet every 2 weeks. Thank you.
Jadi buat teman-teman yang tertarik untuk join the C, ada kelas bahasa Inggris juga sebenarnya kalau teman-teman tertarik. Tiap hari Jumat jam 4 di ruang eksekutif yang baru. Jadi ini biar semua nanti kalau saya tanyain bisa tepuk tangan gitu bahasa Inggris. Jadi terima kasih lagi. Ini mungkin nanti pertanyaan question and answer bisa kita campur bilingual English Indo. Tapi this is very interesting because Mr. Dennis here, other than the lecturer in Ateneo University in the Philippines, he is also an entrepreneur. He used to work as a professional before, and then afterwards he started his own business, create a franchise chain, and also a consultancy, so many things. So for those in business function class, maybe in incubator business, learn a lot from him. One of the specialty is that he started his business and then he was able to actually expand the business outside of the Philippines. Jadi udah masuk ASEAN dan bisa nanti tanyain juga kalau teman-teman tertarik gimana sih bedanya kalau di dalam negeri dan nanti ke luar negeri juga sampai dia masuk ASEAN itu bagaimana dampaknya. Jadi it's very special and I want to thank you again for coming here. We hope that we can learn a lot from you. So the stage is yours. Thank you very much. And Miss Lila, langsung aja. Okay, so thanks a lot. Then let's give a warm applause to our speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay, salamat sore. So, nama saya Prof.Dennis Uyaco. That's all I know. That's all I know. So I'll be sharing to you my slide. So I hope you'll like my presentation. But well, of course, thank you for Miss Riza. She is a fellow JCI, and I would like to thank her and the institution for allowing me to talk and to share with you the insights of well, not just the entrepreneurial, but as well as the journey that you will be able to do once you enter this kind of lifestyle. Actually, I'm calling it a lifestyle because being an entrepreneur has a very large burden in yourself because you're doing something that is not typical or not the common way of doing things in life. So we always challenge the status quo. So please allow me to, for the next 1 hour, 1.5 hour, or
Yes,
depends.
1.5 hour.
So of my journey as an entrepreneur, but I will also share to you some insights on how entrepreneurs are doing in the ASEAN perspective. Okay, so this is some of my business and advisory engagements. So I've been dealing with both in my business and the clients that I have. On the left side is some of the companies that I am affiliated with. So I've been working with, I used to work with San Miguel Corporation, a very large food and beverage company in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. And on the left, I also work as a professional in the IT. I am an IT graduate. So whoever's in the IT industry there, you have a good future, good pay, good pay. I used to work with one of the largest conglomerates of the IT industry, which is Accenture. On the left side, further left, is some of the companies that I built. So Strive, the Azure, Grand Creator, 6 Eagles Nest Food Inc. On the right side is most of my clients. Some of the clients that I engage with either in my food business, in my consulting, or even in the advertising industry. So this one is some of the institution partners and the partners that I affiliated with in the past and currently. So here's some of the universities, and on the right side there's some of the organizations that I'm affiliated with. But when I was in college, this is my job. I'm a cheerleader. So in the Philippines, it's very common to have a cheerleading squad in our schools. So we like basketball. So just to give you an insight, Philippines is a basketball country, not a football country. So we're the only one in Southeast Asia. So that's an insight. So we know the LeBrons and Jordans. Yeah, that's why even my school. I'm wearing the Ateneo, my school, with a Jordan brand. So it's a very common. But I was a pep squad cheerleader during that time. And I really enjoyed my college life. So usually I'm telling my students to enjoy your life while still in college. Because after that, you're going to enter the real world. So make the most out of it, especially for those who are graduating. So enjoy every single moment. And your school is giving you the wonderful opportunity to do that. Okay? So this is me. I'm doing this. Somehow I'm very, my face is so thick. I can speak, I can shout during college, during basketball games to support my school. When I graduated, I was full of hopes and dreams. Basically, I was in a very high moment because of the experiences that I have during college. Well, to be honest, I'm more happy in my extracurricular activities rather than my academics. But again, study well. You have to study. You have to study. So this is my mindset. I will conquer all the opportunities when I graduated in college. But reality struck. Do you have any idea what this is? Especially the IT people here, the IT students? IT, technology? Any idea? This is a CPU. So being a IT graduate, my first job is to clean this computer every single day. Even I work with a large corporation, my first job is this one. Cleaning, setting it up, making sure that the computers are working well. Even though I am accredited a Microsoft Certified Professional, my job is this. Even though I was the president of my club, my job is this. So this is my desk when I work in one of the corporations in the Philippines. So day in, day out, I clock in at 9 a.m. and go back, get out of the office at 6 p.m. So this is my job back in I will not mention the year. so this is my first job. And I was sitting in that desk. I'm pretty satisfied in my life. So this is the thoroughfare in Manila. So we are second worst. First is Jakarta. Jakarta. So Manila is one of the busiest streets in the world. So every single day, I travel from my home to my office, riding this bus every day. Every day. So now you're thinking, okay, so if I work, that's my reality. That's true. If you were to, let's say in Surabaya or maybe in Jakarta, you will do a routine of a typical professional or a graduate professional. So I have a question in my life that struck me is this the life that I wanted? Is this my fate? Yeah. So very deep, right? So back then, because in the Philippines, as young as 21, we are already graduated in our college degree. We already graduated. So during this time when I was taking this, I was around 22, 2 years working in the company. But when I was deployed in one of the factories of our company, I saw this one, this wonderful skyline, full of stars. So I was thinking, I'm just a little speck of dust of the grand design. So if I will be part of something big or something that will really change my fate, looking at these stars on that particular night, I remember that back in 2010, I think there's a better fate than what I'm currently doing right now. So I created my own plan. So I called it the Dennis Uyaco's career plan, according to my 21-year-old self. So my first objective was to get a high-paying job, of course, have a business before 30, and retire by 40. Because one of my business mentor told me that the global retirement age is 40. He retired at 39. I retired at 32. So, in order for me to pursue this career plan, I want to take my master's degree. So when I reached 23, I think 23, I applied for my MBA for master's degree. So I put that list, I submitted it, but I failed 3 times. I'm not a very bright student. I like playing ML. I like playing Dota during college. That's why I really enjoyed my college life. So I failed. I applied for my MBA degree, but I failed 3 times. So, but there is a word called grit. So actually, this is being an entrepreneur or even a professional. This is the one word that you really have to put into your mind and to your mind, and whatever you do in life. So I failed, but I got entered. So with all of the negotiations, all of the begging to be part of the master's degree program of my university, I was able to come in. And this picture, I became the student council president of the graduate school. So from a failure student, so the life is, well, the lesson here is, life is not always easy. Of course, even you guys are doing your studies right now. But when you do, if you want something, if you really want to do something, it will happen. So like for instance, every day you tell yourself, I'm gonna be the CEO of this company, I'm gonna be the CEO of this company. You will. With the power of your mind. So, I entered my MBA, so I gained a lot of knowledge, I gained a lot of friends, I was even exposed with the international scene because of our programs. So, all of the things that I was able to build during my MBA days is practically within the line of what I want to do in life. Because in my school, we are very business centric. So we like to start companies, we like to explore new opportunities. So that's why this is the things that I was able to accomplish, to network, to build my network portfolio, to build friends and connection, so that I can create my first companies. Few companies. No, not first. So, but there's a dirty truth. And I want to share to you, this dirty truth is from Mike Rowe. He's the CEO of Milker Works Foundation. He told everyone that never follow your passion. So everyone, even maybe the professors here, oh, why? Why you don't follow your passion? And I will share to you a video. Why? Okay? Why? Why never follow your passion? Oh, before I share it, do you agree with this?
No, I disagree.
You disagree, okay.
Because many people said, just
Go.
Here, you can ask.
I think I can. For me, I think I disagree with this opinion because much people said that if you follow your passion, you can make. What is
So you follow your passion, it further enhance your skills because you're gonna do your best to get that position, get that job, get that aspiration that you really want. So, yeah, okay. So anyone else?
Just my opinion. I don't know about the other one.
Alright.
What about you?
I disagree with that.
Disagree, okay.
I did disagree.
You disagree? Yeah. So yeah, actually this is the things that I like in the speaking with the university is a different perspective. So this is one exercise that we will do. But please allow me to share to you another option. Why you never follow your passion. Okay? So oops.
There are only two things I can tell you today that come with absolutely no agenda. The first is congratulations. The second is good luck. Everything else is what I like to call the dirty truth, which is just another way of saying it's my opinion. And in my opinion, you have all been given some terrible advice. And that advice is this: follow your passion. Every time I watch the Oscars, I cringe when some famous movie star
Okay, here you go. So I will repeat it again.
The first is, there are only are two things I can tell you today that come with absolutely no agenda. The first is congratulations. The second is good luck. Everything else is what I like to call the dirty truth, which is just another way of saying it's my opinion. And in my opinion, you have all been given some terrible advice. And that advice is this: follow your passion. Every time I watch the Oscars, I cringe when some famous movie star, trophy in hand, starts to deconstruct the secret of their success. It's always the same thing. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't have what it takes, kid. And the ever popular, never give up on your dreams. Look, I understand the importance of persistence and the value of encouragement, but who tells a stranger to never give up on their dreams without even knowing what it is they're dreaming? I mean, how can Lady Gaga possibly know where your passion will lead you? Have these people never seen American Idol? Year after year, thousands of aspiring American Idols show up with great expectations, only to learn that they don't possess the skills they thought they did. What's really amazing, though, is not their lack of talent. The world's full of people who can't sing. It's their genuine shock at being rejected. The incredible realization that their passion and their ability have nothing to do with each other. Look, if we're talking about your hobby, by all means, let your passion lead you. But when it comes to making a living, it's easy to forget the dirty truth. Just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you won't suck at it. And just because you've earned a degree in your chosen field, it doesn't mean you're going to find your dream job. Dream jobs are usually just that, dreams. But their imaginary existence just might keep you from exploring careers that offer a legitimate chance to perform meaningful work and develop a genuine passion for the job you already have. Because here's another dirty truth: your happiness on the job has very little to do with the work itself. On dirty jobs, I remember a very successful septic tank cleaner, a multi-millionaire who told me the secret to his success. I looked around to see where everyone else was headed, he said, and then I went the opposite way. Then I got good at my work. Then I began to prosper, and then one day I realized I was passionate about other people's crap. I've heard that same basic story from welders, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, HVAC professionals, hundreds of other skilled tradesmen who followed opportunity, not passion, and prospered as a result. Consider the reality of the current job market. Right now, millions of people with degrees and diplomas are out there competing for a relatively narrow set of opportunities that polite society calls good careers. Now, meanwhile, employers are struggling to fill nearly 5.8 million jobs that nobody's trained to do. This is the skills gap. It's real, and its cause is actually very simple. When people follow their passion, they miss out on all kinds of opportunities they didn't even know existed. When I was 16, I wanted to follow in my grandfather's footsteps. He was a skilled tradesman, could build a house without a blueprint. That was my passion, and I followed it for years. I took all the shop classes at school. I did all I could to absorb the knowledge and skill that came so easily to my granddad. Unfortunately, the handy gene is recessive. It skipped right over me, and I struggled mightily to overcome my deficiencies, but I couldn't. I was one of those contestants on American Idol who believed his passion was enough to ensure his success. One day, I brought home a sconce I had made in wood shop. It looked like a paramecium. After a heavy sigh, my granddad gave me the best advice I've ever received. He told me, "Mike, you can still be a tradesman, but only if you get yourself a different kind of toolbox." At the time, this felt contrary to everything I believed about the importance of passion and persistence and staying the course. But of course he was right, because staying the course, that only makes sense if you're headed in a sensible direction. And while passion is way too important to be without, it is way too fickle to follow around. Which brings us to the final dirty truth. Never follow your passion, but always bring it with you. Congratulations.
to subscribe to our YouTube.
Alright? Did I trickle your mind? Did I challenge your core? So, is it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So, a lot of students, I've seen a lot of graduating students. They're full of dreams, full of things that they want to do in life. With the support of the universities and colleges, but at the end of the day, they want to pursue their passions, right? But there's a very low percentage of success rate of landing the right jobs that they have. So there's a skill gap, that's real. Even in the Philippines, even in Malaysia, maybe even here in Indonesia, there's a huge skill gap. So you want to pursue your college degrees, but at the end of the day, there's lack of opportunities. So one example is, when I applied for my job, I didn't say to myself that I'm gonna clean CPUs when I graduated. That's not my job. That's not my dream job. My only dream job was to work to that company. But not the job itself. Who will make earnings, who will make a lot of money. So the challenge here is, you should never follow your passion, but always bring it with you. But chase opportunities. So to be successful, don't fear the dirty workers, guys. So this is the right moment for you to reassess yourself when you're pursuing your dreams, if it really is the right path that you really want to pursue. Of course, I'm not saying, guys, that you change courses. that's not the point. The point here is, when you start preparing yourself to the real world, you have to follow opportunities. So like for instance, if you're applying for a job, technically you're a salesman of yourself. You're selling yourself to your potential employers. If you start your own business, you will sell yourself, your products, your services. So what's the point here? You have to be a good salesman. So any opportunities that will land in your desk or land in your hands, you should be ready. Then once you land that opportunity, bring your passion. So when you chase opportunities, but always bring it with you. Always bring the passion. So that's why, if you notice, in my portfolio, I'm an IT guy, but I'm into food. I went to consulting. I went to advertising. All of those things is not my core, my expertise, my skill set. That's not my skill set. But what I did when I created those organizations, I brought in my passion, but I chased the opportunities. So like for instance, the advertising company that I started back in 2013, it was just a 5-minute ride from my office to our school. Then my partner told me, Dennis, do you want to join me? I'm gonna start an advertising company. Then, yes. Without even thinking, I'll check first if I'm good in this, blah, 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 and check the financial now. I just say yes. Then I'm gonna figure it out how to learn in that industry. And I did. For the past 3 years when we run it, we were able to generate a lot of money. Then, once we were planning to take it to the next level, that's the time that we created another businesses. So that's how I was able to chase my opportunities. Then bringing the passion to it. Because if I follow my family heritage, my grandpa is a miner. One of the mines in the Philippines. He goes around and take jobs to the mines. So this was back in, I think, 1950s, 50s or 60s. So he is a hardworking person. He really likes to do a lot of things. But me, I'm the, in Tagalog we call it bunso, the youngest. So I am so lazy. I am practically a lazy kid. So I play video games, sleep with my lolo's arm. So doing nothing, playing video games. So I cannot be this guy. I cannot be this guy, my grandfather, very hardworking even when he was still young. To a lazy guy and this guy. So he worked, he lived around 87 years through hard work. Me, I'm not. I'm not a hard work. I don't till the field. I don't stay very long when doing my job because I'm so lazy. But I'm a smart person, smart worker. Yeah. So millennials like me, we want to work smart. So the Gen Zs, I don't know, what do you want to work? What kind of work do you want? So one thing that I want also like to share with you guys is you have to embrace failures. So who among you at your early 20s? Raise your hand. Early 20s. Raise your hand. 21, 22, 23, 24, 22. Okay, 22. So 21, early 20s. That's the early 20s. So this is the best education that I've learned being an entrepreneur. Failure, embracing failures. Because if you don't have any failures in life right now, you are not prepared to embrace that huge real world scenario problems on how you'll be able to manage it. Having failures, this is your like a wake up call. So like for instance, right now you're sitting here. Usually when I was still in college, I'm sitting at the back. Yeah, because I don't want to listen to the professor or to the lecturer. But well, life is very tricky and very unknown in terms of how the doing a lot of things in life. And I'm now sit at the front discussing about entrepreneurship. So you will never know. Maybe on the back, he or she will be the next great entrepreneurs here. Yeah, I mean. So that's okay. I'm okay with these guys at the back because I know they will do something big. Of course, you guys will do something big at the front and the middle as well. Don't worry. So, but embrace failures, guys. Why? It is your this is your education to learn on how you will be able to get up and try to resolve or make that failure to become successful. Because it will make you a better person. But of course, if you keep on failing, that's a problem. So you have to really think deep on how you will be able to manage yourself. So you're in your 20s right now, right? Most of you.
Yes.
Remember, in life, if you reach 30s, you have really at least actually we're discussing earlier, technically, the human life expectancy is around 60 to 70. Yeah, the average. So once you reach 30, mid-30, that's already your midlife. So it's not 50s, guys. So I want you to challenge your thinking that being at your 50s is not midlife. Your 30s is midlife. So you have to take all the necessary measures in order for you to become, if you really want to become successful before reaching your midlife. So when you reach at your 30s, it should be you already know what you want to do in life. So you want to be a professional, you want to be the best accountant, You want to be the best franchise owner. You want to be the best in all the things that you want. When you reach 30, you at least have the necessary experiences, the failures, the successes in life, at least. So again, looking back at these stars, we are a small speck of the grand design. So now, you have to ask yourself, what part of this constellation you are? What part of that, of the universe? What's your higher purpose? What's your bigger and higher purpose in life? So that's the challenge of being an entrepreneur or even a successful professional. Let me share this to you. The millennial generation, we are born around 1980s to 1994. So, although this is an old slide, but we are now at our midlife, technically. Around 30s to 40, to 40. So, look at the Gen Zs. You guys are born around 1995 to 2012. So, I believe all of you guys are in this generation, unless there's someone much older. Nah. So remember, like I said earlier, you're already at your middle age. At your middle age. So you have to think very deep of really what you really want to do in life. So while enjoying college, you also have to be serious on what you are gonna do in your life after graduation. So you have to think one time, 2 times, 3 times before you decide to do your major decisions. So by 2025, 50% of the labor force will be the millennial generation, our generation, the millennials. So the millennial generations, we are what we call the me generation. Me. So we are so self-entitled, admittedly, because we were raised by our parents that they're telling to us that we are the best child, the best son, best daughter. But every parent is telling it to their children. So what happened when we came to our when we joined the workforce? We thought that we are the greatest employee, the greatest entrepreneurs. So we become so entitled, narcissistic. But sometimes we still live in our parents. So like in America, that's how they do. When they reach 30, they're still living in their parents. So why? Because when life struck, they realized that they're not that great. They're not that successful. They're just one of the cogs or the components of a bigger system, like in their work or in their businesses. So according to Mark Zuckerberg, your goal should never be starting a company. Focus on the change you want to make. Find people who share your same purpose, and eventually you may have opportunities to build something that helps create purpose for others and has a positive impact on the world. So when you start your companies, I think that should be your objective. Of course, aside from making money. Because if you're not making money, then your business model is not okay. But this one, a positive impact on the world. Even here in Indonesia, even in Southeast Asia, you can make a better product or services. According to Ernst & Young, the rise of entrepreneur in Asia Pacific has all the ingredients to make it a breeding ground for entrepreneurs. The region accounts nearly 2/3 of world's growth. Imagine we are 2/3 South Asia Pacific region. So we have a lot of SMEs here. Compare with the other regions like in Europe and Africa and even in the US. So we are outpacing them of creating new SMEs. So we have a fast economic growth, expanding middle markets and middle income population. So that's why entrepreneurship in creating businesses or being an entrepreneur in this region is a very promising career for being an entrepreneur. So according to Maybank, so the consumer market and the retail segment here in the Philippines, this is one in the Philippines. So we are in the neutral consumer. Neutral means that our rise as a consumer is at least at par with our Southeast Asian colleagues. If you notice, this is one sector, which is the e-commerce. Of course, Thailand, they have a very strong e-commerce growth percentage in terms of GDP. Next is China and Hong Kong. Look at, although I didn't see Indonesia, but I know that you guys are growing. But look at the competitors between the Asia-Pacific countries. So, almost the same. Even the Philippines were very lagging behind. So, if you notice, in this industry alone, there's a sudden growth of wealth. So, like for instance, some of my students during the pandemic, they started their own companies, e-commerce. They didn't mind wrapping Lazada or Shopee and sending it to the courier just to earn money while they're not doing anything. Then when they're doing the online classes, they further expanded their businesses. So when they presented to me some of their projects, they told me, sir, actually I'm already funding myself, my education at 22. Already started the business. So I told them, you have to take it to the next level. Make it more innovative. Let me share to you a glimpse of what are the SME in the Philippines. So here in the Philippines, we have at least as of 2020, we have almost 1 million SMEs. Actually, compared to Indonesia, it's much bigger, maybe two or three times higher. But if you notice, in the Philippines, we only have at least 4,651 large companies. Large meaning is above more than 100 million pesos, or maybe around 20 million USD or less. So if you're doing in the Philippines alone, if they want to pursue their career in the big companies, they have to fight it out in the 4,600 companies. So very small, right? So with the Philippines has a population of almost 110 million. And let's say the young, every year we are producing graduates around 3 million, 2 to 3 million. So this is not enough, right? In the Philippines. But if you look at the micro, small, and medium, even the small, micro and small, there's a lot of space, there's a lot of opportunities. So that's why in the Philippines, our growth is based on the MSME market, the micro and small. That drives our economy. And I'm pretty much sure same with Indonesia. So that's your space, that's the opportunity for becoming an entrepreneur. It is necessary for you to explore this market, the MSME. Start your own companies, create products, create services. Even if you're doing a different discipline like accounting, financial, create a firm that related to that. Of course, get some experience, then start your own companies. In the Philippines, we have this distribution. The largest is the wholesale and retail, the chunk of the SME market. Next is the food service, the manufacturing, and the financial and other activities. So this one is the difference. So the total employment, again, 62% MSMEs. Pretty much, we have the same. We have the same market. Okay? So this was me back in, okay, I'm not yet. Back in 2015. So I'm like you guys, although I'm taking my master's. So at the middle is my professor and my business partner, future business partner, because we're not yet setting up a company by then. But we pitch our product with my fellow students. So like this one, like I'm pitching, guys, you take this, this is a wonderful product, blah, blah, blah. So, but my professor told me, you have to challenge the status quo. That's our objective. Of course, I'm not saying that you have to break the status quo. You have to challenge. Only challenge it. Because the status quo sometimes is your baseline. So let's say you start your own business in food. There is a status quo there. There's a system, there's an industry that already set up their own rules. But if you want to be more innovative, you challenge the current structure. You challenge the perception of the market. So, back then, we are selling food. We are starting a food company in 2015. Then, one part of me challenging the status quo is to change my lifestyle because I'm still working in my business during that time, during back then. So, I have to force myself to relearn everything. I'm an IT professional. I have no knowledge or expertise or experience in the food sector. So everything I should start it from the ground. Because remember, I started an advertising company in 2013. So that's a different industry to the food. So I'm setting up a kiosk in one of the malls in the Philippines by myself. So again, the dirty truth, the dirty works. You have to do it. I am even the bagger of the truck delivery. So I even have to sleep in my commissary. So I have to sleep so that I can monitor the progress of my business. Then someone, as mentioned, I'm selling empanadas. Are you familiar with it? Pastel. Yeah. So, pastel empanada is a Spanish bread. Spanish bread with filling inside. Then, when I came to a potential angel investor, this is the one that they told me. You're only selling empanadas, bread. Why would you need that much capital? Because I'm asking for at least how much is it? 30,000 USD. Asking for. We're asking big.
400 juta. Minta ya. Okay, go ahead. I'm just translating into rupiah.
Rupiah, yeah.
400 million.
Yeah, 400 million. Yeah. It's quite big, right? For a startup. Then the angel investor, the challenger, the one who's challenging us, we're only selling bread. Why do we need that? Then, this was the target, 150 empanadas per day, pieces per day. So, during that time, it's still small, very small. Very small production line. But we're asking big. Why? Because we're thinking big. We're thinking scale. Scalability is the name of the game, guys, for entrepreneurship. If you cannot scale your business, you practically will reach a certain level only. Yeah, you can search it. We call it, yeah. So this is our product when we were able to, so that mindset that they criticize us of why we're asking too much with a very small product, with a very meager product, we take that challenge. So, what are the things that we need if we're entering the food sector? What are your distribution points? So my partner, this guy, is actually a half Indonesian. Yes. He's an half Indonesian from Manado. His mom is from Manado. So, but he's in the Philippines. He grew there. He. So, so we challenge ourselves. Where is the best distribution point if you start a food company? Well, I'm gonna ask the class. If you're gonna start a food company, what is your best distribution point? Any idea? Distribution points. Where do you want to sell it? What distribution points?
Where do you want to sell the?
Yeah, where are you gonna sell it?
Mau jual pastel di mana pertanyaannya teman-teman? Mana ada yang mau ngomong apa? Pakai Indonesia boleh tak Inggris dong? Alternatif. Jual di mana kalau jualan pastel atau empanada di mana kira-kira? Pasar, traditional market.
Yeah, traditional market. That's one.
Yang lain? In restaurant.
Restaurants. Yeah.
In small cafes.
Small cafes.
Inggris mah jadi apa?
So, but this is not graded. Don't worry. You can answer whatever you like. So,
Online.
Online. Oh, online. So yeah, in coffee shops, in traditional market, you can sell it in the streets. Yeah, in the bars and hotels. Yes. In the kitchen bar. Okay. So, my half Indonesian partner told me a mandate. I only need it in 3 distribution points. So, one is supermarkets. Next is convenience stores. This is a convenience store in the Philippines. It's called Mini Stop. I think it used to have here. So it's from Japan. And last is retail franchise. So an Indonesian is telling me that's your mandate to do it. So the next thing that I did is to schedule a meeting with the second largest convenience store, because that's my connection. And the rest is history. It took me 8 to 10 months just to develop this product and launch it in the Philippines. Then the number of convenience store back then was around 500 stores. So I solved the first problem: how where to distribute the product. So that's another question for you guys when you are starting your own business. Where do you want to take it? What target clients? What market do you want to sell your products or services? So before you go guns blazing with your business, you have to really think deep. That's how, when the education and trainings comes in, that part, when you're thinking the details of your business. So we launched the product in 2015. Then we created another brand. It's called Manila Empanada. But take note, it's from Indonesia. The product is from Indonesia. But we branded as Manila Empanada. Because in the Philippines, we don't have a national brand of empanada. We have regional brand like Ilocos Empanada. It's a empanada, customized empanada from the north of the Philippines, northwestern. Oh, okay, yeah. But there's no such thing as like a Filipino empanada. This one. So it became much nicer. Look, we took a picture, and the mandate of my partner, Indonesian, is an empanada in every Filipino household. That's our core objectives. So we create our mission vision. This is our vision. An empanada to every Filipino household. So if you run the numbers, we have, let's say, 30 million households, 1 empanada each. So we are earning 30 million. Then 1 peso. So that's very very basic computation. But of course, the numbers will play in when you create your own financial statements. So this is our timeline when we launch our products. So 2015, 16, 17, 18. By 2019, we were able to create at least 30 franchise stores in the Philippines, plus the manufacturing. So I'm a manufacturer and I'm also a franchisor in the food sector. So we have a video, but I'm not gonna pay it. This is our commissary. That's a commissary. So it's a 1,000 square meter commissary from a very small 20 square meter, from a 150 pieces a day to 20,000 because of the demand. So we have a 20,000 pieces a day. Yeah. Pastel. Yeah. So again, remember the one who challenged us, you're only selling pastel. Why do you need a lot of money? Because of this. Because of this. Yeah. Because of this. Because this is our objective. Because of this vision. We launch a lot of campaigns, promotions, using the investments. And setting up our operations. So 20,000. So in 2 years, we are number 1. Because we have a lot of competitors, but in 2 years we were able to beat them. Yeah. So, again, as an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you have to put your gut feel only. You have to do business and strategic planning. That's a key. So every businesses that I entered, that I started with a strategic plan. Again, scale is the name of the game. So that's why in our university, we are being used as a business case of a partner, classmates, started companies. So if you look at your left and right, front and back, who knows, maybe that's your business partner in the future. Or maybe your partner in life. I don't know. But maybe in the business side. Business only. It's up to you for personal. So, let me share to you this 7 competency of being entrepreneur. So now I'm being academic. So number 1 is risk appetite. You really have to have a risk appetite within yourself. I remember one of my business colleagues, we were sitting in the grass, laying in the grass, thinking. He told me that if you want to invest something, you really have to scale how high is your risk appetite. So like for instance, if you want to invest with a $100 investment, and that is your only risk appetite, and the returns might not be that high because you're not risky enough. But if you go much higher, because you know that you have this feeling or you have this business plan that will make you successful, and you up the ante, then you get much higher returns for having a much higher risk appetite. But again, case to case, see rewards for taking in opportunities that have potential positive or negative consequences. So ask yourself, am I not afraid to fail? Because any risk, there's always a possible failure. But any risk as well, there's also a reward, the possible rewards. Am I comfortable with the ambiguity and uncertainty? Do you have a courage to try new approach or challenge the status quo? So that's risk appetite. So that's one of the things that you need as an entrepreneur. Next is sense making. Scanning the environment to detect and interpret what is happening today in order to connect and take actions on potential future outcomes. So, sense making is who to tap and how to connect the dots. So again, if you read business books, there are only crumbs. But when you connect the dots, it's only crumbs. You just have to follow it. But You really can't see the end point. They're just a guide. But there's no, if someone will tell you that you're gonna buy this book and you're gonna be successful, I'm pretty sure they're lying to you. Because every single one, every entrepreneurs, they have their own path. They created their own path. They might follow, but only the crumbs. To tap with the right people as well. So critical thinking skills is vital as well to generate alternatives and decision making more efficiently. Then, number proficiency and understanding great value. Now, I'm a flunk student. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm not good in grades. Math is my worst enemy. Accounting, nah. Yeah. But in reality, it's a necessary skill or necessary tool that you need to learn. You only need, as an entrepreneur, you only need to read 3 financial documents. The balance sheet, P&L, profit and loss, and of course the financial statements. So you will need it when you file for financial report to your investors and even in the government. So this is necessary in order for you to project your profits. So numbers is always there. That's the language of business, guys. But for me, the heart is sales. Because if you don't have any sales, no, you cannot count anything. You can't count anything. But numbers is the language. It will interpret your business. Customer focus. Be a customer focused organization like your company in your companies. Choosing, initiating, and sustaining relationship with customers. There are times that you even need to take it to the next level of customer relationship. You have to be very close at least so that the relationship is much better. You can get better terms. So in the negotiation, they will give you a better pricing and positioning. So do I think of the market potential of non-customer and not just existing customers? So you can also explore not your main target customer, but also your secondary customer, secondary market. Am I able to solve pain points of the customer? You also need to ask that. Am I holistic to the solve that they need? And the consumer is satisfied? So that's how the things that you need to learn. Customer focus. Next is initiative. Being proactive in taking prompt action to attain objectives. As an entrepreneur, we love moving fast. To move fast. Take always the initiative. Don't be a passive business owner. You only react. Don't do that. You have to take that initiative. You see that there's a problem, you take actions immediately. Self-starter without waiting to be told or to be asked. That's one good skills. If you have an organization skills. So that's why if you have leadership classes here, it's very important. It's very important, I'm telling you now. So utilize the things that you learn from your school on how you to become the effective organization leader in your organizations. And if you're curious, ask questions. Challenge your mind. Keep on asking questions. Actually, for me, there is no such thing as dumb question. Yeah. Keep on asking. If you don't know, don't be shy to ask. Because you don't know everything. So in order for you to learn, you ask at the end of the day. So take that initiative as well. Influence. To use personal branding and interpersonal style to gain buy-in for constituents. Now, this is, for me, is one of the important things that you need as an entrepreneur. You need to build your reputation. Reputation. My business mentor told me that you have to do 3 things as a business owner. You need to have the credibility. the integrity, and trust. If you have that three, pretty much you can create companies, you can go anywhere in life. Integrity, credibility, and trust. So if you build your brand, so like for instance, if I maintain my brand as a easy-go-lucky guy, then I will be labeled as an easy-go-lucky guy. So if I build my reputation as a lazy professional, then I will be a lazy professional. No one will hire me. If I maintain my playing Dota all day, doing nothing, then no one will get me as a future partner. So you have to build your brand. So now maybe you'll think that, hey, when I'm looking at my Facebook right now, I'm always sharing cats. So maybe that's your business. So that's why you're building cat shares. So if you're building something, if you're sharing, so you have to be mindful moving forward. If you post, you share hate messages, that will reflect to your personality. So that's why when I'm doing classes, I'm always telling them, even when you're still in college, start building your portfolio in what? LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is a powerful tool for you to get hired if you work in the workforce or in the startup companies. Because now, a lot of employers are looking at LinkedIn and even social media as part of their initial assessment for employees. Even in business, if I post something like hate messages about racism, no one will get me. No one will take my advice because it is a counterproductive to what I'm projecting to myself in the social media. So you have to be careful, and you have to create your own branding. Who are you? When someone asks you today, you will say that I am a student from this university. Then the next question is, what else? So that's your question. So like for instance, right now, if someone will go, let's say there's a career fair right now, and you will be interviewed. So what are the talking points that they would like to hear from you? If they're hiring something, what are the skill sets that you were able to accumulate through your college days? So that's a question, guys. Remember, you only have what, 3 years, 4 years in your college degrees? Then after that, you're like in the wild, wild west, getting opportunities, starting a business, starting to work. But if you were able to build your reputation, your branding, pretty much you're done. It's done. Okay, sorry. Okay, there you go. Alright? So why am I asking, why am I telling this to you guys? Because in business, you have to influence people, right? In order for you to sell a product or services, you have to influence their decision makings. If you want to close a deal, you need to have that right influence to them so that you'll be trustworthy enough for them to trust you and pay you eventually. Okay? So next, adaptability. So, any thoughts regarding adaptability? Maybe I can ask someone from the class. Yeah.
Tentang perlu
Why is it important as an entrepreneur?
Perlu adaptasi kok penting, kenapa untuk menjadi seorang entrepreneur? Ada yang mau katakan? Ya boleh bahasa Indonesia juga gak apa.
Kita akan translate.
Kenapa kok penting untuk menjadi seseorang yang adaptif, yang bisa beradaptasi? Silakan.
Ya.
Karena kedepannya akan banyak perubahan-perubahan yang tidak kita ketahui.
Terima kasih. Because there's a lot of change that's going to happen in the future.
I get it.
That's why it's important.
Yeah.
A lot of changes in the future. Ada yang lain?
Anyone else?
Shadow?
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Kasih tepuk tangan, teman.
So adaptability is very important because, like for instance, in the e-commerce sector during the peak of the pandemic, when they sold their products, the e-commerce business owners, for the past 2 years, they were able to generate a lot of money. Right? Even here in Indonesia, a lot of e-commerce businesses start up. Then in 2022, there was a tightening of regulations from the platforms like Lazada and Shopee. And some of the business model that they were able to utilize during the peak of the pandemic is no longer applicable. And now, only 2 years, they call it traditional e-commerce already. Just imagine 2 years. Only 2 years, 2-year transition. The model from 2020 is now what we call the traditional e-commerce. So now it's changing, even with the different industry. So adaptability is key. Adjusting to external changes while initiating internal changes. So usually you have to do it fast as an entrepreneur. Because you have to ask yourself, do I understand and master the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Do I approach change positively and quickly? Or do I easily adjust and try new approaches as part of my continuous learning? Again, being an entrepreneur, you have to continue learning. You never stop learning. Learning new things or learning from the current industry that you are, keep on updating it. Or try something new that would help you to innovate your current business. Then again, last is grit. Grit is a persistence to attain long-term goals despite adversity. If you notice here, the question is emotional maturity. Yeah. So do you have the necessary emotional maturity when dealing or having trouble or coping up with hurdles? So this is also a good tip for even handling personal matters, right? You need to have a grit. Do I have the resilience to come back after a setback? Now that's one of the key factors as well of having a grit. When you fail, how can you come back after the setbacks? What are the things that you need to do? What are the coping mechanisms that you need to do? I remember when my company collapsed during the pandemic, the coping mechanism that I did was I locked myself to my gaming room and I played Final Fantasy 7. And I stayed there for almost a month. Of course, I'm going out. But yeah, that's my coping mechanism. All of my business during the pandemic practically collapsed. Then, when I emerged from the ashes, I restarted most of my businesses and created a new one. So what are your coping mechanism? Then, having a grit, you have the ability to convert obstacles into opportunities. So this is it's one of the hardest things to do. How a problem or obstacle or hurdles, you can turn it to opportunities. Okay? So, if we play a scenario regarding this, if there's something like a limitation within your services or your products, this is the right time for you to reinvent or recalibrate that will adapt to that obstacles. So that's how, or somehow that you will be able to turn it into opportunities. So maybe are you familiar with the SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis, the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So every products or services that you do, you have to create a SWOT analysis as part of your business strategic plan. So having a SWOT is a good, very powerful tool in order for you to anticipate potential obstacle for your businesses. Okay? So, allow me to share to you this what we call the global megatrends. So, according to Dr. Frank Siegfried, he visited our university back in February, I think. He called the global megatrend is an interdisciplinary study emerging from ecology, society, economy, geopolitics, and domain. So, he's an adjunct faculty member in Lee Kong Tian School of Singapore Management University. He mentioned here that it shapes our world and their potential consequences to humanity, businesses, and individuals. So that's what global megatrends is all about. So it's both an opportunity and challenge for each and every entrepreneurs who are here right now, future entrepreneurs. This is how global megatrends matrix is by 2025. So if you notice, in the bar, there is a low degree of impact to global economy and low and high degree of certainty. So now, you'll think, oh, what is this? So this is the global megatrends. So if your business is targeting these kinds of industry, pretty much your business is global megatrend ready. High in infrastructure, mid in the degree of certainty. Let's say if your business is in the health, wellness, and well-being, probably your product will be on that global megatrend. So think of businesses right now that has a global megatrend impact. That's my challenge to you guys. Because if it's in the low part, pretty much you will be able to get that global megatrend impact. So that's why we are challenging entrepreneurs all over Southeast Asia to prepare or create businesses who are in this part. The new green, the future energy, the economic trends, future mobility, bricks and clicks, infrastructure development, and new business model that with outside the existing business models. Again, fortune favors the bold. So that's how entrepreneurs do. They're so bold in creating new things. Most probably they will be the one who will become successful. Whoever create the first step or make the first step, they're practically the most successful. Then we have what we call the PhDs. So you will ask me, Prof, what's PhD? Do I need a PhD to be successful? Of course not. Usually PhDs are our colleagues in the academy who really wants to pursue and deeper education. I don't have a PhD. So I asked my professor, my business mentor, what's the PhD? Sir, do I need to study my PhD degree? So he told me, no, you silly. PhD is poor, hungry, and determined. Yeah. So what's PhD? So that's the PhD that I learned from my business mentor. So what's the meaning of this? Any idea?
Kenapa kok harus miskin, boy. Miskin.
Yeah, you can share. There's no wrong answer.
Kenapa kok menurut kalian harus miskin? Miskin apanya? Tadi kan katanya penting PhD, tapi P-nya tuh miskin. Miskin apa? Miskin ilmu. Poor in knowledge. They say.
Poor in knowledge.
Ada apa lagi?
Poor. Let's start with the poor.
Ada.
Yeah, let's start with the poor.
Kenapa harus?
Why this is important for entrepreneurs?
Karena ini terutama untuk yang mau berwirausaha. Kenapa kok penting untuk merasa miskin? Merasa to look for more money.
To look for more money, so you're aggressive.
Yes.
Aggressive.
Ada yang diinvest gak? Yang diinvest gimana? Siapa?
Last one.
Kenapa kok perlu merasa miskin? Gak perlu, merasa kaya aja ya?
Okay. So, well, my business mentor told me, you need to be poor. So, Prof, I don't have any money. Exactly. You start from nothing. So, literally and figuratively. Being poor, meaning you're no money. That's the literal translation. Because having no money, what you'll do? You'll be more aggressive to get more money.
Jadi lebih agresif.
Because you're literally hungry.
Yes.
Because the next is, because you're poor, you experience that poor state. Even though you know that your parents are okay, they give you the right education, but you have to reset your mindset. Think like the poor. You're aggressive to become successful. Why? Because you're hungry. Literally. Being hungry will make you more creative in making business, making deals. And also hungry for learning. So that's the figurative part. So being hungry is very critical in order for you to increase your skill set. So that any challenges that you'll be encountering, you'll be pretty much at least less risk of failure. And also, last is determined. You have to be determined on finishing it through out the cycle or the task that you were given. So you have to be determined to accomplish whatever project, business deal that you are doing right now. Okay? So risk. Because you're minimizing this risk. So as an entrepreneur, you need to do this. Strategize, create a plan, establish a process, create assessments, monitor and control, evaluate, review, and analysis. So it's not like being an entrepreneur, a very happy place. It's the worst place. So that's why there are things that someone is saying, not all are destined to be entrepreneur. That's the reality. But if you're ready to take these three, according to my professor, my business mentor, pretty much you're ready to become entrepreneurs. So that in order to you to lessen the risk of all the things that you do, you have to do this. Minimizing the risk. Okay? So, well, in my case, this is one of the things that I do. I do profit with a purpose. So, even though I'm earning small, at least there's a profit. There's a higher purpose. So that's why if you try to create products or services, always think of the higher purpose beyond profit making. Sometimes it gives what we call a good karma. Yeah? It's a good karma. It's really happening. If you do good, sometimes it gives you exponential opportunities. But first, you have to face the fact that you don't know anything. That's the one thing that you also need to face the fact being an entrepreneur. So that's why in my case, in my experience, I get the mentors or consultants and even professors to learn, to see my business from outside perspective. So take note of that, since aside from getting mentored, you need to have that experience. Experience is the best teacher that you'll be able to meet. But every day you meet them, Mr. Experience. So, but we also need to have data. You need to be data driven. You don't. Gone are the days that a business owner will only do businesses through intuitions. With the globalization, all the data is there. You can just Google it. You can ask questions. You even seek mentorship, so that you can gather data before you start your business. So, in my role as a family business consultant, we implement this in the businesses that they have. The 4 R's and 1 A's, that you need to establish rules, roles, rights, responsibility, and accountability, even for you startup entrepreneurs. So this is very critical. I've been to business dealings, I've been to partnerships that somehow fail. Because we don't have the rules. No clear roles. We don't know our responsibility, and we have no accountability. Pretty much your business will collapse because without this. So you have to be careful as well building partnerships and business deals. So, like I mentioned earlier, ICT, credibility, and trust. And I always have that mindset, can my business last forever? Since, look at what happened to Steve Jobs. So even Steve Jobs died a decade ago, we still know Apple. So we always knew him because of the products that he were able to give, not just to UN, to the United States, but to the world, to the society. So you have to think like building a legacy in your business. So that's very crucial, especially if you really want to make a mark or a dent to your industry. So in my case, we created a business, the pastel. Now it's, even though I'm no longer running the business operationally, they know that I owned it. They know that we started it. The industry, the Philippine industry knows it, the food industry. So that's why in my advocacy, I'm trying to share everything now to the next generation. So because it made all sense to me that those experiences and advices and learning experience from the one I'm giving advice to, technically it's also giving advices to me. So even you guys, I'm learning here, I'm getting a lot of things that that I didn't knew when I'm not here in Indonesia. So it made sense. So that made me who I am today. So going back to these stars, this is one of the learning experience that I had. This is the wake-up call as an entrepreneur. I'm a flunk student. This is my grades. So we call it palakol 7, 2. So all fail. So that eventually joined this organization, and now teaching you guys. So for me, this is our purpose as the academy. So to be a teacher, is the main purpose is to consume itself to the light for others. And I hope in the future, you guys, when you become successful, you will become the light of the other or the successful. You will always have regrets. You always have regrets, guys. That's why I'm always telling this to you guys. My fear is to have regrets in life. Of course, you cannot avoid it. So that's why if you want to do something big right now, you want to start a business, you want to pursue your career, do it. Instead of waiting or let the society dictates you. Create and change the world. Because if you have regret, because regrets, it's there. But you can lessen it. Okay? So thank you guys, and I hope I was able to share insights.
Thank you very much. I think the knowledge and the experience is so amazing from Prof. Dennis. So I hope for you all guys will get something. Jadi dapat sesuatu lah. Jadi nggak hanya tepuk tangan aja, tapi ada yang masuk ke dalam hati dan pikirannya. Okay, so
Any questions?
yeah, so we will go to the session of discussion. So please feel free to ask anything. Karena kalau nggak tanya nanti malah tersesat. It's okay even you want to ask in bahasa, we will translate it in English. So don't worry, be happy. Kita akan jadi translator kalian. Jadi tenang aja. Yang penting tanya. Tapi I love your quotes. Don't follow your passion. This is my first time.
First time,
Yeah, to listen these words. Beneran, ini baru pertama karena biasanya follow your passion, follow your passion.
Yeah, follow your passion.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah.
So like everyone, when you were kids, who among you would like to be an astronaut?
Astronaut.
Mas, but again, there are only 200 astronauts in NASA. So even the Philippines, we don't have a space program. So we have, but more on just bringing satellites. But a Filipino astronaut, we don't have. So the more that you want to pursue your dreams, your dream job, it lessens the probability as you grow old, right? Then along your journey, there's a end point, like a dead end. So you have to decide either you want to break that wall or continue or refocus yourself to another passion.
Okay, thank you. Please be aware with your opportunities surrounds you. Jadi benar-benar perhatikan aja opportunity yang diberikan. So honestly, being a teacher or lecturer is not my passion at all. Sebenarnya, ya at the first saya tuh pingin jadi jurnalis. But there is an opportunity to be a teacher. That's why I'm here for now. Jadi karena ada opportunity, that's why I'm here for now. And I enjoy to teach my students. Ternyata enjoy loh mengajar teman-teman semua. That's why. So follow your opportunity.
So it applies, right?
Yeah.
It applies to your leader.
Ya, jadi and then karena sekarang sudah 30, so this is my middle age. That's why I will stay here. Jadi saya akan di sini nggak kemana-mana lagi. So who wants to ask?
But bring your passion. Bring your passion.
Bring your passion, yeah. Nulis jurnal ya, article research. Oh my god, for research, yeah. So who wants to ask a question, please?
Question, guys. Yeah.
First, second, and then for the last, the third question maybe. Yang belakang dong, biar dengar suaranya. Ya, yang belakang nanya ya satu ya habis ini ya, disiapkan pertanyaannya. Oh di sini ada juga 3, yang belakang belum, yang tengah juga belum. Siapa yang mau jadi volunteer to ask a question? Jadi jangan mode senyap tapi mode aktif. Oke, ini dulu ya. So the first question come from.
Just like this. I want to ask, if we have the opportunity, but we don't have the passion, we don't have passion in it, what should we do? Because some people might feel lazy if the work doesn't match their passion or interest. Thank you.
So if you're not passionate enough of the job that you do, how will you be able to make it more passionable? Yeah. So, well, first you have to face the reality. Reality checker. Because let's say if you're working on that company and it's giving you the right, let's say your livelihood. So you really have to face the reality that this is the one that giving me the day-to-day, I mean the livelihood that you have. So in order for you to increase your wealth or your income, you have to do better, right? So once you were able to increase your skills on that particular, even though you don't like it, I've been that situation. I've been in, to be honest, I was an IT professional right before. The reason why I became a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology because I love games. I love to play video games. And in the Philippines, there's no gaming courses. So that's why I'm very jealous in your generation, because I know in some universities, even in the Philippines, they have a gaming course. You're just gonna play games and you'll earn a lot. I even started that kind of company because I love playing games. So I became a BSIT. Then when I'm working in an IT firm, I was so bored. I don't like it. The codes, the things that I connect with the computer, everything, I don't like it. But I have to bring my career to the next level because that pays my rent. Pays my rent. Before I left Accenture, I was the senior project manager, and now I'm going to the directorship. So I'm earning what? They convert. So by then I was earning almost 200,000 pesos, or roughly almost 4,000 USD per month. I don't like the job. Very stressful, very technical. I only want to play games, but I have to do it. So that's where the passion comes in. I have to passionately, even I'm not passionate, I have to passionately do a better job, better myself in that profession, take the necessary trainings in order for me to take my career to the next level. But since I don't like it, I resigned. When I was able to start the businesses that I already starting on the side hustle, and when the time that I was able to get the deal with my client, then I resigned without any hesitation. There was one entrepreneur in my MBA class told me, I'm telling them, oh, I'm selling millions, blah, blah, blah. Then he told me, you know what, Dennis, I'm not impressed with the half-baked entrepreneur. Half-baked means you're doing it part-time. So I was so offended. I was very offended with that. So, but when sooner or later I realized, yeah, and I think it makes sense. Why? Because if you do business part-time, the day that you're gonna consume, instead of you making deals like around 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., you'll do work first, the professional career. So you only have the time that you only have is after work. So from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I cannot make any deals. So that made sense to me. Oh yeah, being a half-baked entrepreneur is really not okay. So right there and there, on the next day, I filed my resignation. I remember it, February 6, 2016. That's my last day as corporate for almost a decade. So then when I realized it's true, every day I have to create businesses, every day I need to make deals, and now I'm consuming my 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So because the business hours is on that time, during morning. So if I'm doing business in the evening, no one will talk to me because they're already sleeping. So that's how I was able to navigate. I have to make sure that my career is okay so that I can get my right compensation, my livelihood.
Yeah.
Then when there's a right opportunity, then I resign, I take it, I shift or move to the business.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the answer. Jadi teman-teman, kalau kalian nggak suka, kalian bosan dengan pekerjaan, apa yang sekarang kalian lakukan dipaksa. Jadi keadaan memaksa kalian tetap harus bisa. Karena apa? Kalau sudah dapat modalnya, jadi di pekerjaan yang tidak disukai itu sudah dapat mengumpulkan modalnya dan udah dapat, nah itu mungkin is the time for you to reach your dream. Jadi karena apa? Passion and need a modal. Jadi passion kalian itu butuh modal. Kalau nggak ada persiapan ya nggak jadi, gitu ya. Jadi gitu katanya. Jadi karena tadi Prof. Dennis bilang dia nggak suka sama pekerjaannya, tapi setelah itu dia paksa. Karena sudah dapat modal, kemudian dapat tawaran yang oke, akhirnya dia quit, dia resign. Tapi udah jadi, gitu ya. Okay, next. Nih, so 3 questions, the second and the last one ya.
I want to ask,
Usually, before making or before setting up the business, the entrepreneur anticipation with analysis of strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, and also management risks. But what if the business still is not doing well? And how do you feel about that, and how can I overcome it? Thank you.
If the business is not doing well after you created all the business plan, yeah, it happened to me. It happened to my business. When we started the food, we we didn't expect that our product will explode, meaning high demand. In our business plan, our product, we are projecting it that the business will reach its peak during the bear months or in December, because in the Philippines, Christmas season, Christmas, we have a long holiday. Many people buy products, food products to celebrate. So in our projection from January 2016 until 2020 and December 2016, our business will peak around November, December. Because many will buy products, many will buy food products for their parties and events. When we started it, the plan was January, but we were able to launch it by September. So too late. Too late. And initially, our target was, the client asked us to produce 2,500 empanadas, dua lima. So, but after 4 weeks, we reached 15,000. 4 weeks. From September, first week of September until the early of October, it exceeded our projection of 10,000 pieces per day to 15,000 pieces a day. So we are having a lot of trouble of consistency in the product. We have a lot of wastage, more than 30%. Then our people are sick because they are overworked.
Yeah.
We produce because the projection is much, the actual is much higher than the projection. So when you operate a commissary, let's say you're operating any manufacturing company, you need to have at least 80% optimization. You're running at that 80%. You don't run a manufacturing plant with 100% optimization. Meaning they are running, where companies overheating because we are utilizing our equipment more than 100%. So it's breaking down. The people are sick because too hot, they're too overworked. Even us, we're working. So that's the time that we realize that even we do a business plan, the actual will still not, it will not happen the way you plan it. So what we did was, we asked our investors, give us more money. Because we have what? Good problem. Good problem. We're outproducing our projection is much, the actual is much higher than our projection. So we presented to our big investors and we get new fundings. So technically that supposedly buffer in our investment that we asked, it dried up in less than 3 weeks. So we have to get fresh new investments. So when we were able to secure new funding, we think more scale. So that's the realization. Our plan is not enough. So by 2017, we created the much bigger commissary. Because now we're thinking what? 50,000. 5 times the size of our initial projection. And they agreed, and the rest is history. We were able to recover at least the losses that we had. So there. So again, thinking scale. We didn't think enough. That's our lesson learned. Even though we create a powerful business plan, but it's still small scale compared to the opportunity of our product. So that's the time that we really trusted our business to the highest possible opportunity.
Consistent and never give up is the key, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Oke, thank you very much. Sudah cukup membantu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya pasti ada kegagalan walaupun sudah pakai bisnis plan model A sampai Z, ya itu pasti. Karena itu realita. Dan beruntungnya untuk kasusnya, case-nya Prof. Dennis, investornya is truly angel investor. Ya, jadi dia memberikan dana segar, suntikan dana. Jadi kalau teman-teman mengalami kesulitan, cari lagi kesulitannya di mana, kemudian diusahakan tetap cari solusinya. Oke, this is the last question.
Okay. Thank you for your time. And I will ask about how did you came up with the idea of your first product and why did you choose this product?
Okay, alright. So, actually it's a wonderful story. My partner, the founder who really started the empanada, the half Indonesian, when they migrated to the Philippines, they were poor, very poor. So when they started, when his mom is creating the pastel, the empanada, he is selling it in the streets, in their hometown, in somewhere in Manila. Then when we are studying in the MBA, I met him. Then I was initially asking him to franchise the business. Because he already have a few stores in his hometown and I wanted to franchise his product. So the name of the brand was Cookies Empanada. So Indonesian. So when I told him, no, we're gonna scale it up. My role is really more on how to take it much higher on your original concepts. So we get the product, we dissect it, and try to analyze if the market will accept it. So part of our initial plan is to conduct FGDs. So we took a crowd. Actually, all of our MBA students in our university, we brought in the products and we took a survey of how it tastes. Initially, it's spicy because it's Indonesian. So, but the problem is the market in the Philippines. We don't prefer spicy foods. A lot of Filipinos. We are more on the American taste palette. We are sweet, salty. So that's our taste palette. So there was a fear that this might not become successful because of the spiciness. So part of our negotiation with our client is to take it mild spicy. But we didn't realize when we launched it, that's why it exploded to 15,000. We were surprised that the Filipino market, even the kids, are already accepting the spicy foods. So there's already a change of palate. At least they're accepting spicy foods already. Although not too spicy, mildly spicy. So when we come back, we tasted it and it became successful to the palate of the young Filipino taste palate. Even with the professionals, because a lot of convenience stores in the Philippines are in the CBD area, Central Business District. So they grab the food, take it to their home. It's for their kids, for their we call it for lunch box. Call it paon. So they give it to their kids. They buy it in bulk, like 10 pieces per orders. So that's how we were able to come up with a better product compared to the original. So the original pastel is much spicier and we created a mild version. Then we implemented a much better taste to the product and it became at least accepted to the public. So don't forget the trial and error. Don't forget in your product testing, your service and product testing, you make sure that the information or the data that you'll be able to gather, you can interpret it. Because if you cannot, you'll be having a hard time. Don't do the shotgun model. Shotgun, you just implement it and that's it. Use a lot of data as much as possible in order for you guys to make sure that it's much less risk of being to fail and more the success rate. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Okay.
Jadi itu sejarahnya. Oke, give applause to Professor Dennis. Jadi saya garis bawahi lagi ya, empanada itu adalah pastel. Jadi yang dijual itu adalah pastel dengan resep Indonesia. If you want to know the franchise, the price for his franchise-nya itu ya harganya itu sekitar berapa boleh?
Can we share how?
Can we share
much
how?
is it?
Sure. Boleh.
So how much?
How much is it for the franchise?
Right. Well, we initially started it around, what did I say earlier? 700 USD.
So,
Initial. 700 USD. At peak, I think we have 6,000 USD. Around.
10.500.000, terus 7.000 gitu.
7.000 itu sekitar
7.000 dikali 15.000.
Kalau we convert it.
105.
No, sorry.
Iya. Dari 10 juta sekarang itu harga franchise-nya ke 100 juta.
I started it around 2,700 USD.
Oh, startnya dari 2,000.
Then at peak, we were able to sell it 36,000 USD.
Ya, jadi franchise-nya itu harganya 40 juta untuk jualan pastel teman-teman semua. Ngeri kan? Dan cabangnya itu udah ratusan. Jadi kalau misalnya pas peak season, kalau harganya lagi tinggi, kalau banyak yang cari franchise-nya tembus 400 juta untuk franchise-nya pastel ini, empanada. Bayangkan.
So that was so just imagine it is an Indonesian product.
Indonesian product.
Became very popular in the Philippines.
Iya, jadi resepnya. Jadi kalau kalian main ke Filipina, terus nanya makanan yang populer ternyata adalah pastel. Nah, jadi kita bisa ke sana nanti coba kita jualan cilok coba. Kayaknya menjanjikan cilok setan di sana ya. Okay, thank you for the insight. I think it's very useful for our students. Okay, give a round to Professor Dennis.
Terima kasih.
Salamat. In Tagalog we say salamat. Salamat itu artinya terima kasih. Salamat. Salamat po, gitu ya. Okay, so now we are at the end of the event for today. So presentation is.
By the way, you can follow me in Facebook and IG and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There's my
Okay, for biasanya popular di Facebook. Jadi di Filipina itu yang paling populer itu Facebook. Kalau di Indonesia Instagram, di sana Facebook.
Facebook.
Facebook is the number one social media in Philippines. Okay, now is the end of the session. So now is the time for awarding the certificate. Okay, so for the first one. So this is the awarding certificate. Yeah. Certificate of appreciation delivered to Professor Dennis. Yeah, okay.
You want to go up? Okay, go up. Okay, have one more picture over there.
Atau klien? Oke, itu klien maskapai. Sekali lagi ya. Itu
Thank you. We have one more thing. For you. You get it.
Get picture sih. Mantap.
Okay, we'll take a picture together. You can stand here and then we'll take a picture towards the back. Kita kan ketutupan nggak ya?
Yang belakang berdiri aja.
Yang paling belakang.
Yang belakang bisa berdiri biar kelihatan teman-teman
Yang
semuanya,
lagi.
biar kelihatan rame.
Yang paling belakang doang, yang
Yang belakang yang duduk
yang
di
di
belakang.
kursi bakso. Kalian kamu gini kelihatan nggak yang duduk di sini?
Kelihatan.
Kelihatan.
Dipegangnya siapa?
Kelihatan nggak?
Ayo naik, berdiri, ini berdiri.
Enggak.
Yang belakangnya pas mungkin boleh geser sebelah.
Wah, oke,
Oh iya. Berarti mungkin kalian kesini deh. Kamu kesini deh. Nah,
Mungkin
kesini dikit kan?
Ini di belakang sini bisa
Ayo, gak usah.
kakaknya agak
Ke kiri lagi. Sip.
dikompres.
Oke, dipres jadi ini.
Oke. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oke.
Oh, iya. Oke, lagi. Once here, please. Oke, thank you.
Nah, kamu ketutupan berarti kamu. Gini ya.
Apa lagi?
Saya Asia.
Oh, Asia. Kode Asia. Jangan di wajah, wajahnya nggak ketok. Di dada, supaya wajahnya kelihatan.
Oke.
Oke. 1, 2, 1. Oke.
Thank you.
I think that's all about our agenda for today. Jadi terima kasih banyak untuk kedatangan teman-teman semuanya. Kami mengucapkan benar-benar terima kasih sekali untuk kedatangannya. Semoga tadi dapat insight, dapat knowledge yang bermanfaat buat teman-teman semuanya. So mulai bisa berpikir nanti mungkin mau jualan apa gitu ya. Kita bawa ke luar negeri gitu ya. Iya, jadi nanti kalau keluar kalian bisa jualan makanan apapun ternyata di sana laris pakai banget gitu loh. Oke.
Cireng.
Iya, bisa jual cireng kata Pak Yunus, boleh cireng. Oke, terima kasih dan sampai jumpa lagi di acara-acara selanjutnya internasional. Jangan lupa kalau merasa bahasa Inggrisnya kurang, kita ada kelas-kelas bahasa Inggris gratis hari Jumat. Setiap hari Jumat pukul 4 sampai 5 di gedung sebelah, di gedung depan ya, di ruang eksekutif. Silahkan datang aja untuk belajar bahasa Inggris. Karena kalau kalian bisa bahasa Inggris, kalian bisa kemana-mana. Oke, thank you, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.